Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I'm Nikki Farah, and today I have Liz from Sunranges Qoya with me, and we're going to chat about all things body. So
Hi,
welcome.
Nikki. Hi, Nikki. Thanks for having me here.
You're so welcome. So I originally came across Liz's 5-day challenge, and as I was participating in it, I heard a term that I hadn't really heard a lot before, and it was body neutrality. And so, would you like to speak to that, Liz?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'll do first is I stayed away from calling it a challenge deliberately.
Okay,
So
sorry, that was my bad.
No, that's fine. It's just the reason why, because the thing was, it was called a 5-day body image shift, and I called
That's
it
right.
and I called it an experiment because I wanted women to have a look at it and sort of push their edges a little bit, but I didn't want them to feel like it was going to be really hard work, because that wasn't my aim. I just wanted to sort of get them to think a little bit different, like literally just shift their thoughts a little bit about their body.
Yeah.
And that's why I sort of phrased that a little bit differently rather than deliberately calling it a challenge.
Yes, good point. And I think that was originally attracted me to participating and signing up for it. It was the wording, everybody does 5-day challenges, 3-day challenges, love yourself, whatever. But the idea of a body shift is,
yeah. So that was the first. So the body neutrality. So for me, the way I see body neutrality, so I feel like how we feel about our bodies is like a spectrum. So it's like a scale. And on one end, you've got body hate. And on the other end, we've got body love. And for me, body neutrality sits in the middle. And the reason why I use that term and for the body image shift that I use that term was because from what I see with the women I work with and who I talk to and I'm friends with, so many of them have such a deep hatred and such strong negative feelings about their body. To say to them, you've got to go from that to absolutely loving the skin you're in and this, that it's amazing and all the rest of it, it's just too much of a step. Like it's just going, how? That's too hard.
Yeah.
But and for me, what I thought is if I sort of break it down and go, right, body neutrality is in the middle, that's where you can look at your body, you can appreciate your body for what it does, but you have no negative or positive feelings. It's just, this is the body I have, and that's it.
Yep, this is where I live.
Yeah, exactly. This is where I am. But my hope is that once you get to that point, that you don't stop, that you keep going then towards the body love.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a book that I mentioned in my shift, which was called The Body is Not an Apology, by an American woman called Sonia Renee Taylor. And she talks about body neutrality a little bit, but she says that shouldn't be the aim. She sort of poo-poos it a little bit. She's like, we need to do radical self-love and really go for it. And I don't know, I just find that, like I said before, I just think that can be a step too far, and it can daunt people and going, well, I'm never going to get there, so I'm not even going to start. Whereas if you have the body neutrality as sort of this midpoint, it's sort of an easier thing to go, okay, I'll try and see how I go getting to that point.
Yes, definitely. And there's a big psychological shift that has to take place when you move from, that body hate to that body love. And it's just really, really tricky. And I love the idea of just moving into the middle, into the balance where there's more of an acceptance of the body that you have been given or that you're born into.
Yep.
The other thing I wanted to share is a friend of mine a few years ago, she's a bit of a wise medicine woman, and she said something to me that was, at the time, I had never heard. And I feel like the message is very similar to yours. So we kind of get into a space where we feel like our appearance is a reflection of us.
Mm-hmm.
It's so that I'll just share this story. Basically, she's saying to me, I had some health issues at the time, and she said, "Well, you're not the body." And I'm like, "What? That is the strangest thing I've ever heard. I'm not the body." And she said, "Well," she said, "if you break your leg, you're not a broken leg. You have a broken leg."
Exactly.
And I went,
Exactly.
"Oh my God." And like all these light bulbs went off, applause, the whole thing went, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That is just wild. So I wanted to share that story today. And I wanted just to speak to a little bit about the body shift. And of course, if anybody's interested in participating, I'll put all of the links and the contact details and stuff under here. But did you want to share what some of the other things that you like to do are?
Well, I was just, it's interesting you said that about the leg, because I've heard it said in relation again to your body about this thing of that we label ourselves fat.
Mm-hmm.
You are not fat.
No.
You have fat. You are not.
Your body has fat.
Fat. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing. And that's how I've heard it explained. I haven't heard it with the broken leg, but that's another nice way of putting it.
Yeah.
Because we label ourselves, and there's a thing of, like lots of different communities have done, they've taken labels that were derogatory towards them and have taken them on to empower themselves. So especially, for instance, the queer community. And even using the word queer, it was a slur which they've now taken back.
Yes.
And, like when you look at Mardi Gras and they're wearing the pink triangles, that was all slurs and derogatory things, which they've gone, no, actually, we're claiming that and we're taking it back and we're taking ownership of it.
Yeah.
So I think that also happens with the word fat. Mm-hmm. So it depends on how it works best for you. So I'm in a group which is run by Amy Pence Brown, who is an American fat activist. Mm-hmm. And that group is called Rad Fatties. And she is doing that. She's reclaiming the word. Yes. She's like, that's it. Yes, I've got fat. I am fat. I don't care. I'm saying it. And if you don't like it,
I'm owning it.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess it depends how you're comfortable with it. If you're at the point where you want to reclaim, or if you still are at the point where you're sort of just starting to shift your way you're thinking and go, right, I'm not fat. Like my whole body is not fat. I have fat. Yeah. And I think that's again on where you are in your journey, in your thought process about your body, how you want to word that and where you want to do that. So
and it's really subtle. It is a really subtle shift, but just by changing the wording around it, that changes the whole dialogue that you have with yourself and your body. And I just was really fascinated by the challenge, and I particularly loved I think it was day 3 for me, when you were
which one was day 3?
Talking about your belly.
Oh yes,
that's a fun
little activity.
That was so much fun. I really I highly recommend signing up for this body shift. I'll
explain that experiment. That experiment, because it's an interesting little one. So what the idea is that you get a piece of paper and a pen, get yourself your phone and a timer. Now, I think I gave everyone, was it a minute? I think I said people to have a minute. So before you start your timer, think of which part of your body is the part of your body that you have the most issues with. You yourself, which one do you dislike the most? Think of which body part it is. Right, got it? Set your timer for a minute and then write down everything, why you hate that part of your body. Write it all down. But when the timer goes off, you must stop. Absolutely stop dead. That's it. And then what you do, without a timer, start writing again, all the things of why you appreciate and why you love that body part. So for me, when I did it about my belly, I was thinking about, the fact that I've birthed a son, so my belly grew my son. It's soft. The skin is so soft on my belly. It's incredible, and really, really like jiggly. And, if you play with your belly, it's fun. and just think of it about what are the good things that you have and that are about this body part. And then when you look back at it, it's just like, okay, it doesn't look great, but why are we so fixated? And I know why we are, but patriarchal culture and all the rest of it is we're bombarded with it.
Yep.
Of that our worth is tied to what we look like.
Yes.
And that's the whole, that's the whole other, not other story, but it's linked. I mean, you've got a diet industry that makes billions of dollars of making women feel insecure about how their body is right now.
Absolutely.
And you've got a patriarchy that keeps women thinking about what they look like and what food they put in their mouths, because heaven forbid they stop thinking about that and can think about other things.
Yeah. It's a nice big distraction, isn't it?
Absolutely. And if we got rid of those thought processes, what we could spend our thoughts doing, our time doing, instead of counting calories and weighing food. Oh, please. Unless it's a baking recipe and you need it to be exact, don't weigh your food. You know what I mean?
That's right. And
look, even 2 more flakes of oats, it's fine.
Even coming from a past, I used to teach aerobics and work in a gym for many years and things like that. And I literally spent years weighing and counting calories and protein and fat. And look, if it works for you, fantastic. But personally, for me, it really made the gap wider. It was me trying to like force this positive stuff down my own throat when I just didn't feel that way.
No,
and of course,
exactly.
this is 20 years ago, and we live and we become. I'm a grandmother now, and I just look at everything so differently now that next generation has come through. But I just
But the problem is we've got 12-year-olds who are concerned about their body shape.
Yes.
Now, hello. Oh my God. I don't know about you at 12. When I was 12, I wasn't really concerned about.
I wanted a horse.
Okay. Yeah. Exactly.
Rode my bike all day,
they talk about children who are primary school age going on diets.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, please, no. And the other thing, with the I saw a I think it might have been the documentary Brazen Hussies, which I don't know if you saw.
No, I haven't.
It was an Australian documentary about the women's liberation movement. And I think it was in there, but possibly that it was somewhere else, but I think it was in there where they talked about how they worked so hard, to get these rights, reproduction rights, all these things, but they forgot to stop caring about what the size of their ass was in the genes, and that, we've come so far and done so much. And yes, there's still so much work to do, but I feel like that's one major piece of the puzzle that we've got to get through to get over this thing about that a woman's worth is only tied to what she looks like.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I've got a lot to give to the world, and this ain't a supermodel.
And honestly, it's like the least relevant piece of a woman, really.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Absolutely.
I'm just going to leave that there. But when I reached out and asked you, we both acknowledged that this is such a big, huge issue, and it does go across those generations. And today we've just kind of touched the surface of it. But I wanted to keep it light, and I wanted to keep it short, because that's just the easiest way to get people to kind of reflect back on their own, on how they can bring that into their own space and use that as part of their own journey of their getting to know their body and being okay with it, and then of course heading to radical self-love and loving the shit out of it. So
exactly.
So is there anything else you wanted to share before we go?
Well, what I will say is, so the shift, the body image shift has finished. So all the prizes have been awarded, and I finally sent them all off. So I'm happy for if people would like to join. I'm happy for them to join. if they want to still comment, the post is still up in the Facebook group. So what the way the body image shift was set up, it was a 10-minute video. Then you were given a task, and the task was to be completed in the Facebook group to be in the running for prizes. So the prizes are now finished. So if women would like to comment on the posts, I'm very happy for them too, because I was interacting and commenting and doing. So I'm happy if people want to do that. Or if they would prefer not to do that, then I would suggest to them that they journal their answers. Yeah. You know, write it all down, have it for yourself at least. It's something that I'll probably run again later in the year. So if they would rather wait until it's live and doing it with everyone else, that's up to them too, of course. So yeah, well, I just thought I'd say that, so people
clarify that, because
it has
I was actually catching up last week because I was a bit behind as well. But I really wanted to sort of share the message and the context, because it is a really important step between, you know, loathing yourself and loving yourself. That middle piece is the neutrality. It is being okay with whatever you've got.
Absolutely.
And for me, it was a big personal step when I took it. And I'm sure there's, you know, that you and I aren't alone. I'm sure there's thousands, possibly millions of women that are in the same space. So
absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so to our beautiful audience, thank you so much for watching. Yeah, if you'd like to comment or chat further, I'll put all of our details above, below, wherever. Thank you so much, Liz, for your time, and big love.
And Nikki, thank you so much for appreciating what a big issue this is and giving me, you know, wanting to spread the message, because I mean, that's all my aim is with this. I just want to spread the message and get women to think, you know, to start thinking about it and literally shift the way they think about their bodies. That's what I'm aiming for. And the more that message gets out there, I think it can only benefit everyone.
Absolutely. I've got goosebumps. Sorry, I'm not going to start talking again, because we'll go again for another 15 minutes, because it's, as we acknowledge,
I just wanted to thank you for taking the message and wanting to spread it, because it's
so welcome. And yeah, maybe we can do some more chatting in the future.
Sounds good. Definitely.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.